Hiya and welcome to the Teen Whisperer, the podcast for mums of girls who are often labelled as too much, too sensitive, too emotional and too different and just don't fit in. I'm Rach Friedley, fellow mum, coach and play specialist, and here's what I believe. Our girls definitely do not need fixing, and we don't need yet another list of strategies that make us feel like failures in our role as parents. The truth, behaviour is not a flaw. It's a signal from the body, and it's the body's way of asking for support without the words. This podcast is about listening, not controlling, connection, not correction, and giving you tools that actually work in the chaos of real everyday life or everyday real life. So if you're ready to stop second guessing, feel confident again and finally connect with your daughter at her level, you're in the right space. So keep listening. If your daughter's behaviour feels confusing, if one day she's okay and the next she's shut down, snappy or distant, or if you keep wondering what's actually going on for her, this episode is for you, because behaviour is not random and it is not the problem as we are told so many times. It's communication from a nervous system under strain, and that is okay. So welcome back to the Teen Whisperer, the podcast for mums supporting girls who are overwhelmed, disconnected or quietly struggling. I'm Rach Friedley, and today we are slowing this right down, because when we don't understand what's underneath behaviour, we either try to correct it, we try to fix it, or we worry ourselves sick about it. But when we understand the body, the brain, the heart, behaviour starts to make sense. So here's a core reframe which changes everything, I will add. So here it is. Behaviour follows state. Not values, not effort, and definitely not motivation. State. And when a girl is in freeze, her behaviour reflects a system that's conserving energy and protecting itself. Your daughter has gone into self-preservation mode, and that is okay. So freeze is a physiological response. It's where the nervous system senses prolonged stress, a chronic stress, and says, slow everything down. So the body adapts by reducing energy output, dulling sensations, limiting engagement, and conserving her own resources. So what does that look like? Do you know what? Withdrawal, alienating herself from friends, hiding in her room 24/7, not getting out of bed, low energy. She is totally exhausted. Maybe she's gone nocturnal because she can't sleep at night because her brain's whirring 24/7, ruminating, and so she is knackered during the day. She's disinterested in things she used to love. The things that gave her that spark, that gave her that light in her eyes just look flat. That emotional flatness just said that. And that avoidance of doing anything that involves any kind of effort. Not because she doesn't care, but because her body is overloaded. Her system is overwhelmed. So the brain, why doesn't logic land? Well, for starters, they don't understand logic, but teen brains are still developing. That prefrontal cortex, as I've talked about time and time again, emotional regulation, impulse control, perspective taking, stress tolerance, risk assessment, organisation, timing, you name it, that part of the brain, which doesn't come online into their mid-20s, is still developing. So when she goes into freeze, it turns off. Literally, that simple. So when a nervous system is in freeze, the thinking brain goes offline. It turns itself off. The threat system, however, stays active, hyperactive, 24/7. And decision-making becomes way harder than it should do because they just don't have the energy. So asking her to explain, reflect, or change often goes absolutely nowhere. Not because she won't, but because she can't yet. And I'm saying that, yet. So what's going on with her heart? So emotionally, freeze often comes with shame, self-blame, disconnection from her feelings, fear of being a burden on other people, and fear of getting it wrong. So strangely enough, that leads to procrastination. Faffing, I'm not going to do it. And inside, she may be holding thoughts like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't keep up. I'm tired of disappointing people, so I'm just not going to bother. So she literally pulls back, not to reject you, but to protect herself. She has gone into self-protection mode. So why does behaviour look so inconsistent? Well, as I've said before, I'm so glad you asked, even though I know you didn't. But I'm going to tell you anyway. So one of the hardest parts of mums is the inconsistency. Some days she's okay-ish, and some days she's clearly not and is hiding in her room 24/7 with the curtains closed, in her bed, hiding. Sound familiar, anyone? Because this is describing my daughter on her bad days. That's because freeze is not permanent. It fluctuates based on her stress load, what's going on for her, what's going on the next day, her sleep, how much sleep she's actually managed to get, any pressures socially, whether there's any bullying, any sensory input, and whether she's felt understood or not. This isn't manipulation. It's a nervous system doing its best to cope in an unnatural environment. So why does focusing on behaviour miss the point completely? This is why when people focus on the behaviour, it does drive me nuts, because the behaviour is only part of the picture. It's not the end game. There is way much more, good English, way more to even think about, way more to even consider before you focus on the behaviour. So when we focus on stopping the behaviour, correcting the behaviour, or analysing the behaviour, which is a big thing right now, we skip the way most important question. What state is her nervous system in right now? Because without addressing that state, behaviour will not shift sustainably, so time and time again. But what actually does help is increasing the safety and capacity around her, allowing her to feel safe, seen and heard, which are her basic needs, by the way. So by increasing the safety and capacity, it looks like predictable routines, a gentle rhythm in the day, reduce pressure to perform, movement and time outside, spend time with calm, regulated adults, and connection without agenda. Now, as I spoke about last week, I am just designing a program for girls that are stuck in freeze with simple step-by-step guidelines. Boundaries is what I call them, because it helps her to recognise what she needs and how she can achieve it without that pressure. So none of this requires her to talk it through. The body feels safety first, and then the rest follows. If you're trying to do something for your girl and she doesn't feel safe, she's not going to do anything you ask her to. So what does progress actually look like? It's not a personality change, even though people do say that to me. It looks like slightly more flexibility, fewer shutdowns, quicker recovery, and moments of engagement. And it's also about those neutral days. And neutral is not doing nothing. Neutral means the system is stabilising. It's finding its feet.
it's grounding itself, it's balancing. So behaviour is definitely not the problem. It is the signal from the body. So when we listen to it through the body, when we start seeing what is going on underneath that behaviour, we stop reacting to it and we start responding and supporting her in the moment. So if this episode helped you to make sense of what you're seeing, I want to invite you to my free webinar, Becoming Your Own Teen Whisperer. It's for mums who feel worried, shut out or scared of making things worse. No blame, no labels, just understanding and tools that actually help in the moment. You'll find the link in the show notes. And if you want ongoing support, WTF, yeah, it's called What's the Feeling, by the way, but you know, we all have WTF moments with bringing up our girls. It's a space for mums learning to parent through the nervous system with clarity, steadiness and compassion. You're not missing something, you're learning to see what's underneath, and that changes absolutely everything. So if you like what you hear, check out my website, the 3 W's, theteenwhisperer.co.uk, or if you'd like to connect with me, message me from inside this podcast. And yes, that actually is a thing. It is that easy. Or book yourself in for a connection call and we can talk more. All the details are in the show notes. And if you're a new listener to this podcast, welcome. I invite you in. The more mums that listen to these messages, what this podcast is about, the more I can get my podcast out there underneath the noses of mums who really need to hear this right now. So please share it. Please give me a review. And please hit subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. So remember, you are doing way better than you think. And look after yourself. And see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.